I think one of the best pieces of music theory that I got when I was studying in my early college days was from this one teacher at my community college. His name is Richard Flores.
What college, by the way?
This is Chabot College.
If you're gonna name the person, you might as well name the college.
I should.
Okay.
The best piece of music advice or music theory that I've gotten. Cut. The best piece of music music theory that I've received from someone was at Chabot College when I was studying there. And the teacher, Richard Flores, said that music needs to reflect life. That's what really great music does, because it's got highs, it's got lows, ups, downs. There's parts that are, more densely packed and parts that are more sparse. And, if you have that dynamic sort of approach to music and life, I think that yields really good results. You can't, to take it even further, I don't think you could make great music unless you go out and enjoy and appreciate life in general outside of a studio.
Wow, I love that. Yeah. Well, I agree with you on that, and it's such a nice thing to kind of hear, as far as like when you're in a rut, also musically.
Yeah.
You don't know what to do, like which I've been in, perhaps you've been in too.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like it's you're in a low place and you're just not like getting what you want. But sometimes,
gotta just take a step back, go live life.
Yeah.
Go do things outside of playing music. And
I just watched the new John Baptiste documentary on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I did too.
American
so
Symphony.
Good.
Oh, I loved it. I love John Baptiste, so it was a beautiful thing to kind of hear him talk about music as a way that like it's expressive of life, and it really
he nailed it.
Oh dude, oh my gosh, the new album was good, and then I saw that like not so long ago, and I was like, okay, this is
his Grammy acceptance speech was so beautiful, humbling.
Beautiful. Yeah, he all around is a great person. I wish he was here today and not you, but
I'll make some phone calls.
Say that out loud. Okay,
I'll get him in here.
One thing that really struck me is how he made the music feel like life a little bit, and like the way his expression kind of came across. It's like it was very like breathy. It was like take a breath where you need to. Talk about that in jazz solos as well.
Yeah,
where you don't have to do it. Like
keep on running.
Take your time. Miles Davis was good at that.
Yeah, say something.
If I'm playing there's just so much I know I'm showing off a little bit, but it
was lovely.
There's a lot of intention in like trying to look for feelings and things versus trying theoretically to do something. It's more, I did that chromatic thing too, by the way.
I sure did. It sounded lovely. Chromatic downward bass motion.
I love that. I think music theory allows, at least me personally, to tap into those kind of feelings where it's like, if I want something to sound more sad or more dramatic, I know what it is I'm doing without the thought of, oh, I gotta get it perfectly. Like the math behind it is this. Like instead, I've gotten it down to the point where it feels very natural to do those things. And if I want my expression to be more authentic, I just take my breath. I try to feel what I'm feeling. It's like when we were talking about like when we're younger and we don't know this stuff, we're like explaining things like, but there's a lot of passion in that. There's a lot of stuff that we can lose over time with like the searching for more. Why does this sound like this? Like the actual passion of playing things. Like
to just feel, to be in the moment and very present.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people who work on music theory eventually reach a point where they have to learn how to like feel good about that stuff, how to bring life into that, because otherwise they're just gonna do, it's just all gonna be math equations at that point.
There was a long period of time when I was first learning music theory and really trying to wrap my head around it, where I almost couldn't listen to music without, like, I couldn't turn that part of my brain off when I was listening to music. I was always dissecting and saying, oh, it's going to the 4, and then, oh, this bridge sounds cool, and it changed to 7/8, whatever. So, like, that, and the downside of that was that it started separating the emotional value of the music from the technical side of theory. And thankfully I've gotten to a place where I can just listen to music now and not have to break it down like that per se.
I feel you on that.
But it was almost like I couldn't not do it for a while. And
you kind of had
need to it's hard to keep the emotion, to understand the emotional impact of the music when you're too deep in that technical world. What would you recommend for somebody that is like maybe even just neck deep in that right now? Like they're listening, they're at school, they're stressing out, they're learning, but it's a lot. What would you say to those people right Go to concerts. Go see live music. I feel like there's something that happens when you see live music that takes you out of your head a little bit. And it's just a more direct way to connect to, I feel like, a lot of emotions in music, because it's being delivered by somebody who's a musician and is going through, their own journey in life, wherever they may be. So it's a different experience when you go see live music, and at any scale too. You can go see it, your local bar band, or you could go to the symphony. Like I think that was a great way to help me, because when I'm just like listening on headphones or in the car, and there's, I guess, a less directness from it, so that it leaves my mind able to go more into the technical and theory side. I still do it a lot, especially when it comes to like production. Like I love listening to old records that I loved growing up before I started getting into music production, and I love re-listening to them with more of the like the producer's ears, and getting to see where does the kick drum sit relative to the lead vocal, and how does the bass tone sound and fit in with the rest of the guitars or whatever. So I still get into that analytical sort of mindset sometimes, but I do notice I'm much less in that zone when I'm seeing live music. I think this past year I was able to see more concerts that were like that. And it's funny because I'd seen a lot of bands that weren't like super crazy technical, but to me felt really good to see. And that's not to say that these bands weren't technically great, but you don't need to be technically great.
I still I found myself screaming and it's just like but it's weird because your brain is still, it's a language, and you know how to speak that language, so you're still hearing it, but it's what you choose to process it. are you gonna overanalyze what you're hearing? Are you gonna like, I hear it, but right now I'm more into just feeling
it exactly.
I
feel is
I like
so
that.
important.
I think that's really good advice. Go see live shows, support local bands, support
live music.
Go see your bands that you love, that you don't always have money to see, but just go see them, because it's gonna be, I think also there's sentimental value in that too, which is a part of the life experience.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed that, follow us on our Spotify, on our TikTok, and on our Instagram at Theory Query Podcast. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch clips. You can watch them, you can listen, you can learn, you can like, you can share, you can comment, all that good stuff. We'll see you on the next Theory Query.